Most people think natural disasters come out of nowhere. But in reality, the Earth is giving us signals all the time. We just don't always know how to read them. In this video, I'm going to explain what's really happening beneath the surface, why it matters, and what it means for people who live there. This is Geohazards Explained. Kilauea is quiet right now, but it is not calm. As of the latest Hawaiian Volcano Observatory update, the ongoing Halemaʻumaʻu summit eruption is paused. Yet both vents are still showing intermittent glow, and there has been occasional spattering from the north vent. At the same time, instruments show the summit is inflating again, which is one of the classic signs that pressure is rebuilding for the next eruptive episode. Forecast models put the next lava fountaining episode 40 window between January 9th and 14th. So in this update, we are going to do three things, fast and clearly. First, what paused actually means at Kilauea right now, and why glow matters. Second, why this eruption style can rapidly rebuild a lava-ponded crater floor that behaves like a lava lake during active phases. Third, what the explosive activity language really points to here. Tephra, Pele's hair, Vogue, and why those hazards can travel far beyond the crater. And stay with me, because in a few minutes we will break down the exact monitoring signals HVO is using to say another fountaining episode is likely, and why rainfall is one of the curveballs that can shift the forecast window. Let's locate this precisely. We're talking about Kilauea's summit, inside Halemaʻumaʻu crater, within Kīlauea, the summit Caldera, an area that is inside Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, with closures around the hazard zone. This is not a flank eruption running toward neighborhoods right now. The lava activity is primarily confined to the crater floor during this episode sequence, but the hazards are not always confined to the crater. Now, here is the key context. This is a unique, episodic phase that has been intermittent since the eruption began December 23rd, 2025, with numerous lava fountain episodes from two vents, the north vent and south vent, in the southwest part of the Caldera. So, paused does not mean over. It means the system is between pulses. Here's what to watch next. Three signals: glow and spatter, tremor, and ground tilt. Line up like a countdown timer, and I'm going to translate each one into plain language so you know what episode 40 likely actually rests on. First signal, glow and spattering. HVO reports intermittent glow from both vents overnight, with spattering occasionally visible in the north vent. That's important because glow means heat is very close to the surface in the vent area. Magma is shallow enough to light up the crater at night. Spattering is like the system clearing its throat. Small bursts of lava fragments thrown up from the vent, showing the vent is not sealed shut. Second signal, tremor. Seismometers are recording low-level tremor from the vent region, with weak bursts spaced roughly 10 to 20 minutes apart. Tremor is not the same thing as a single earthquake you feel. It's more like a continuous vibration, often associated with fluids moving, gas moving, magma moving. Third signal, inflation on tilt meters. This is the most metered clue. Since the end of episode 39, the Uekahuna tilt meter, often abbreviated as UWD, recorded about 20.7 microradians of reinflation beneath the summit. That is pressure coming back into the system. And this matches the broader pattern USGS describes for this eruption sequence. Tilt typically shows inflation before a fountaining episode, then switches to deflation once the episode begins, creating a sawtooth pattern over time. Now the twist. This is where uncertainty enters in an honest, credible way. HVO specifically notes that the UWD tiltmeter may be seeing the effects of heavy rainfall, about 18 centimeters or 7 inches over the past few days, and that can complicate how quickly the inflation trend appears at that station. Meanwhile, other stations, Sandhill and Summer Camp, show increasing tilt resuming in the past 24 hours. That is part of why the forecast is given as a window. And that window, again, is January 9th to 14th for episode 40, based on current modeling. In the next 3 minutes, I'm going to explain what explosive activity means for Kilauea in this phase, and why two things, Vogue and Pele's hair, can turn a spectacular show into a real health hazard miles away, even when lava stays inside the crater. Let's start with the alert context. Volcano Alert Level Watch and Aviation Color Code Orange. That combination is a direct signal that this is active, monitored, and capable of producing aviation-relevant hazards like ash or gas-rich plumes, depending on the episode. Now, even during pauses, volcanic gas is still part of the story. HVO notes sulfur dioxide emissions during the pause likely remain in the range of about 1,000 to 5,000 tons per day. USGS's eruption information page adds critical scale. During active lava fountaining episodes in this ongoing eruption, sulfur dioxide emission rates can reach up to 75,000 tons per day, and the plume can rise to more than 20,000 feet above ground level, then get transported by winds. That gas can convert into volcanic smog, haze that is not just a view, but can be an airborne irritant and health risk. Now the second hazard, tephra, especially Pele's hair. USGS explains that tephra includes everything from ash to larger clasts, and Pele's hair, thin strands of volcanic glass, can travel significant distances downwind. In this ongoing eruption, USGS notes that larger particles typically fall within 1 to 3 miles of the vents, while lighter material like Pele's hair can be transported 10 miles or more downwind, depending on wind conditions. HVO also emphasizes that Pele's hair can irritate skin and eyes and contaminate catchment water supplies, and that residents and visitors should minimize exposure. So if you are thinking lava is in the crater, so there's no risk, that's the wrong mental model. The flow hazard may be spatially limited right now, but the airborne hazard can extend far beyond the rim. Now, I want to compare what is likely next to what just happened, because episode 39 shows you the scale this system can hit. 1,400-foot fountains, millions of cubic meters of lava, and a crater floor that is being rebuilt episode by episode. Episode 39 is the most recent major benchmark described in the latest daily update. According to HVO, Episode 39 ended at about 2:13 a.m. HST on December 24th after about 5.9 hours of sustained fountaining. The south fountain reached about 1,400 feet, 425 meters, and the north fountain reached about 900 feet, 280 meters. HVO also estimates Episode 39 erupted about 12 million cubic yards, or 9.3 million cubic meters of lava, covering roughly 50 to 60% of the floor of Halemaʻumaʻu crater. This is where the new lava lake language comes into focus, and it is worth being precise. A lava lake is essentially lava pooled in a crater or depression. In this eruption sequence, USGS describes repeated episodes that send lava flows across parts of the crater floor, with the caldera visibly filling over time due to episodic fountaining. It is not one continuous, steady lake every day. It's a system that repeatedly resurfaces, ponds, and elevates the crater floor. USGS even describes broad regions of ponded pahoho remaining warm between episodes in some mapping intervals. Another way of saying lava can collect and behave like a pooled body during and after fountaining pulses. So, the new eruption phase here is not a brand new volcano awakening out of nowhere. It is the current episodic regime showing the familiar cycle again. Pause, glow, and spatter, inflation, and tremor changes. Then the next fountaining episode, which can rapidly flood parts of the crater floor. And HVO's bottom line in the January 7th update is blunt. The rebound in inflationary tilt plus low-level tremor after episode 39 indicate another lava fountaining episode is likely, with magma high in the vents and increased spattering observed. That's a story. It's a pressure release machine, and it is loading again. Last section. I'm going to give you a practical checklist. Where to get the fastest official updates, what to watch for if you live downwind, and how to avoid the most common spectator injuries from Vogue and Pele's hair, especially as the episode 40 window approaches. First, use official sources for timing. If you want the status in plain language, paused, active, escalating, go straight to the USGS Kilauea update pages. If you want push alerts when things change, subscribe to the USGS Volcano Notification Service, which HVO links directly in their notices. Second, understand where the hazards are actually showing up. Even though lava flows have been confined to Halemaʻumaʻu crater floor during this ongoing summit eruption sequence, USGS documents repeated impacts from Tefra and Pele's hair in visitor areas, along Highway 11, and in downwind communities during certain episodes depending on wind and fountain height. Third, do not treat the crater rim like a viewing platform. HVO stresses that the eruption is occurring within a closed area of the park, and they highlight rockfalls, ground cracking, and instability around the Caldera. Hazards that are not dramatic on camera, but are exactly what injure people in real life. Fourth, protect your lungs and your eyes downwind. Fog is not just smoke. It's volcanic gas chemistry converting into fine particles, and USGS notes it can create airborne health hazards and damage crops and livestock operations. Fifth, treat Pele's hair like fiberglass. HVO notes it can irritate skin and eyes and contaminate water supplies, and USGS explains it can travel many miles downwind. If you find it on surfaces, minimize direct handling, keep it away from catchment water, and avoid rubbing your eyes if you've been outside during an episode. So the update right now is simple and specific. Halemaʻumaʻu is paused, but glowing. Inflation is rebuilding. Tremor persists. HVO forecasts the episode 40 window January 9th to 14th. And the main hazards to track beyond the crater are Vogue and Airborne Tefra, especially during high fountains. If you want more Kilauea updates like this, specific, measured, and focused on what changes, follow the official notices and check back as the forecast window tightens. Geologic hazards can't be eliminated, but they can be understood. And when we understand how the Earth works, we make better decisions about where we live, how we build, and how we prepare. If this helped you see the ground beneath your feet a little differently, consider subscribing for clear, honest explanations of Earth's most powerful processes. This is Geohazards Explained, and I'll see you in the next one.